running Jerry Jones as you get your robe off. Are you buying that McCarthy could come back, bro?
Look, I don't think he'll be back, but I think it's possible. Just with Jerry, you just don't know. Now, I lean heavily toward he will not be back. I would be surprised if he's back. But with Jerry Jones, he kept Jason Garrett for 9.5 seasons.
True.
They had 4 winning seasons. They won 2 playoff games.
They had a bunch of 500 seasons,
yeah, a bunch
right?
of 8 and 8s and all that.
They didn't have a bunch of terrible seasons.
But there were people for years clamoring for Jason Garrett to lose his job, and he never did it. Look, he's comfortable with Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy will gladly let Jerry be the face of the franchise.
True.
Won't push back or anything. You can justify it with the 3 12-win seasons. So I don't think it'll happen, but with Jerry, I think it's possible. Because, look, the 2 of the guys, I know Vrabel is a name out there too, but with Belichick and Dion, even Belichick, they become the face of the franchise. Like, Belichick won't, talk like Dion and be as charismatic, but he's Bill Belichick. He's got six rings. He'll be the face of the franchise. Dion obviously will be the face of the franchise. I don't know that Jerry Jones wants that. So, I mean, if you don't get one of those guys or Vrabel, who you going to get?
Well, Ben Johnson, if you want to get like one of these hot coordinators.
I love Ben Johnson. Again, I don't think it'll be McCarthy, but I think it's on the board.
Well, there's also a possibility that there is, whenever we talk about coaching, keep in mind that at this point last year, Mike Vrabel was still a coach. And then when the hiring cycle started, he was a lot of people's top candidate. Yeah. So the point I'm making is there might be a coach that all of us think is a good coach that a team stupidly fires, that you can hire that guy. You know, like when the Chiefs hired Andy Reid at that, at this point in the season before, he was coaching the Eagles. Yeah. And so there is that piece of it. I'm really big on whatever decisions you make, have a clear line of how you made them. And if after this year you might bring back Mike McCarthy, then there is no reason whatsoever why you wouldn't have given him a contract extension after last year. Correct?
But that's what Jerry does. The same thing with Dak. If you're going to sign him,
agree.
Why'd you wait till CD?
And so I think that would be incredibly foolish. I also think that if we all agree the Cowboys need to shake the snow globe in a significant degree, the only way to do that is changing the coach, because you're not changing the quarterback, you're not changing your most vocal player in Micah, and you're not changing your best player on offense in CD. Like, the only way to change who the Cowboys are is change the head coach.
Okay. Let's talk about this. I really don't know what quality of coaching you're going to be able to get with the Dallas Cowboys at this point. You have Dak Prescott, who is obviously your billion-dollar quarterback, and that's not changing. That's just not. I mean, that would be absolutely insane. I don't even know how it would even be possible. And he's now injured. He's got this weird surgery that he's getting. He's going to be gone for a long time. He's going to be out. No one really knows what he's going to look like when he comes back. That is a legitimate question mark. I've said this a million times. There really is no such thing as routine surgery. There is no such thing as 100% recovery. It's just not. You're never, even if the numbers look like it, you are never back to being 100% yourself. Ask Travis Kelce, man. He's the one that has a great quote on it. He does. He said, I've had 10 plus surgeries and not a day goes by that I don't feel every single one of them. And that's my experience with all my surgeries that I've had. Upper body, lower body, wherever. Like it is a real thing that I think people don't really understand. And again, I'm not saying that he's not going to be great or that he's not going to make a full recovery, relatively speaking. I'm not saying, but it's just like, it's just not always what people imagine it to be. So now you're going into that situation where you're like, what's going on with the quarterback? You have a messy situation with Micah, with Jerry Jones. Like it's a mess. We know Jerry Jones wants the fame and the attention. We know that the dude's on the radio and TV. I mean, he's everywhere. And think about it. This guy is a gajillionaire running the Dallas Cowboys, is insanely busy, literally travels all over the world, and yet somehow still finds time to do all his weekly shows that he does because he loves it. He lives for it. It's important to him. And so, no, he's not going to get a Ben Johnson. I just do not see it. I do not see him going out there and getting Bill Belichick or Ben Johnson. I just cannot see him doing that. I just don't. And I mean this very loosely. But like Jerry Jones is not looking for alpha males. He doesn't. He wants the guys that are below that. Okay? The ones that he absolutely has 100% control of. That's who he hires. Honestly, he hires like nice people. People who you trust your kid with to take them out, to babysit, whatever, to be a grandfather. I always said that Mike McCarthy looks like the nicest guy ever. Totally, you feel like if you would say, hey, I got to run out real fast. Can you watch my kids? He'd be playing. He'd be having dress up. He'd take them out for ice cream. Like, it would be just a great old fun time. And, like, that's what he wants. That really nice G golly guy. That's who the last two coaches have been for the Dallas Cowboys. For years and years and years now. Guys that are just, like, genuinely, like, nice people. Probably too nice for football, honestly. And that's kind of what he wants. Because there was opportunities for him to go out there and get some of these big top coaches, and he didn't. He did not go after Harbaugh. He did not go after. Did he go after Sean Payton? I don't think he did. He didn't go after Ben Johnson. He didn't do any of that. And so I'm just not seeing where that's going to suddenly change. I'm just not. So I think it is possible that he brings back McCarthy. I mean, I think this is a mess to be kind of doing these interviews talking about, I don't think it's crazy that we'll bring him back. Like, it's just like, that's just bad management as well. To kind of keep leaving everyone in limbo. It's uncomfortable, especially because if you know you're not going to bring back McCarthy, like, why even make a statement like that? Why even do it? Why even, like, approach that? Why even give McCarthy hope? And if you know you are going to bring him back, why give all that extra stress on McCarthy? If that's your guy, if that's the guy who you want to run your franchise, well, then treat him with a little bit more respect and be like, yeah. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. And maybe they're having those conversations more behind the scenes. Who really knows? But that's my point. It's so inconsistent. It's so unsettling. It's so all over the place. It's just no way to run a franchise, to run a team. So why would someone like Ben Johnson want that? Why would Bill Belichick want that? Now, a couple of these other coaches who really want to obviously be a head coach or get back into the league, get back into a head coaching job. Right, not all beggars can't be choosers. So I'm not saying that nobody wants to coach the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying a legitimate top coach who literally has opportunities and options. I just don't think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be a top destination. I really don't. You have a messy quarterback situation. You have a messy just roster in general. It's going to take a lot of rebuilding and maneuvering. And you have one of the most insane, unpredictable owners and GMs like that you could ever imagine. I mean, it's just absurd. This team is an absolute mess. This franchise is an absolute mess. It's one thing if you knew, okay, the Dallas Cowboys are a mess, owner, this or that, but my God, they got a top quarterback in the NFL who's in his prime, 26 years old, fully healthy. Let's go. You would be willing to do that if you were a great coach who's looking to make moves. You would say, all right, yeah, this is not going to be maybe as easy as you would hope for some of these other franchises, but you know what? The pros outweigh the cons. I'm not so sure the pros outweigh the cons for the Dallas Cowboys right now. I'm not so sure about that. And we could say, oh, well, it's the Dallas Cowboys. It's their iconic brand and all that, and super popular. That's all true, but I just don't know if that means what it used to mean. We've seen this all around sports now. Those iconic brands, the Yankees, the Lakers, the Cowboys, they just don't mean what they meant back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. They just don't. You got more kids growing up saying they want to play for the Golden State Warriors than the LA Lakers. You just do. You got more kids now growing up saying, I want to play for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Patriots than the Dallas Cowboys or the 49ers. It's just things change. So I just don't think it lands. Because everyone kept saying, oh, if you win a Super Bowl or you win with the Cowboys, it means something special. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know how true that is anymore. I mean, yeah, the fan base would be insane and it would be awesome and exciting. But I mean, things are working pretty well. Patrick Mahomes winning in Kansas City. And Travis Kelce's doing pretty good. Jason Kelce winning with the Eagles. His life's looking pretty good. They're in way more commercials and doing way more. Baker Mayfield. They're doing way more than whatever Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys are doing. So I just don't know if it holds that weight. I really don't. So that's why I'm trying to think of, like, you know, Jerry Jones might be like, I'm going to bring back McCarthy because this is actually kind of the best coach that I can get, because he still is a good coach, a competent coach, and he checks my boxes. He's good enough. He's proven to be able to win a Super Bowl. He can run a franchise. He can run a team, excuse me. And he's not this big alpha guy who I have to now kind of like go toe-to-toe with. I know he's going to be a willing soldier. Jerry Jones knows that he gets to be Tony Soprano. And everyone else is just kind of, you know, Christopher Moltisanti. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? But the Dallas Cowboys, do you think Mike McCarthy could come back? Do you think he should? Do you think the Cowboys are still this kind of destination team that people want to coach or even play for? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.